Good morning. It's Thursday. Today's topic, ending a campaign. Now, a lot of campaigns end for a lot of reasons. And for those campaigns, come to an end because players drop off, or there's a falling out, or something like that. Obviously, you can't really do much of an ending for those because they've ended for a very negative reason. I'm not really talking about those today. What I'm talking about is when you're ending a campaign because it's reached its natural end point. Now, when you do that, I think there are a few things that you should definitely try to do. Let the players know in advance. Don't just finish a session and then say, "Great job, guys, we're done." Tell them, "I'm planning on wrapping up the campaign in the next 3, 4, 5, 10 sessions." Let them have that time to digest the fact that the campaign is ending and figure out if there's anything that their character still needs to accomplish before the end. You know, you might have had a group goal for the players, but if that player also has a personal goal that they want to accomplish in game, you need to give them a bit of a chance to do that. You also want to make sure that you end it at the end of an arc when at all possible. Don't just say, "In 5 sessions we're finished, whether we complete the story or not." Give a target of how many sessions you think it will take to finish the story you're on, to reach a amicable endpoint. The other thing I think is always a good thing to do is, there at the end, take a bit of agency away from your players. As things are wrapping up, hopefully the game has progressed enough that you know their characters fairly well. At the end, maybe play out an after credits scene. Let them know what happens to their characters after they stop controlling them. You know, roll forward a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever, and let them know where their characters end up going. It's a nice touch that kind of gives a bit of finality to the character. You know, the character has now moved on. Something else that I like to do, and I don't do it every game, but I'm doing it in the game that I'm actually ending on Monday nights right now. If the game has progressed over a long while, but you've not quite reached that magic level 20, for the last session or two, level them up to 20. You know, in the campaign that we're doing right now, just as an example, most of the characters were between 15 and 17. You know, they were powerful characters, but they weren't quite level 20. So what I'm doing is, for the last couple sessions, the campaign is basically ending in an all-out war. And what I've said is, for the purposes of the 5 years of war, which is going to be the next to the last session, I've said level up to 20. And then anything that they need to do during that session, anything that comes up for that, they will get a little bit of a taste of their character at level 20. It's nice because so few characters make it to 20. so few games last long enough anymore to get to 20. So even if you haven't gotten to 20, that little bit of recognition and letting the players finish out that concept that they were aiming towards, or see what the end result of their choices would have been like, it's nice. The other thing is, and this does depend on the DM, and it does depend on how you set up your game world and what you're doing, but when at all possible, have effects last. Excuse me. Yeah, have effects last. Now, what I mean by that is, if your characters have done something big in this game, and then you're going to start another game with different characters in the same world, don't just reset everything back to the way it started. Leave those after effects in place. Players love to get back to somewhere and see something and go, hey, wait, I remember that. Their character doesn't have any knowledge of it, but the player remembers that. You can take it a step further and have far-reaching effects at the close of one campaign, which completely alter the world going into the next campaign. That actually is what I've done with the last two campaigns that I've run in Spelljammer. The last campaign, before this one, ended with a wish. And part of what the wish did was they wished away the Illithid race. They were having some serious issues, and they really didn't want to ever see an Illithid ever again. And they wished away the Illithid race. So, where we started this game, these people were a small-time crew. They had heard word that all of the Illithids had suddenly vanished, and there were a lot of ex-slaves sitting on treasure hoards that needed things and were willing to pay for them if people brought them. And that's where this game picked up. So we had a far-reaching consequence from the last game that actually became the initial quest trigger for this game. And if you can do that, you start to weave a story between the games that make your players realize that you've really built an in-depth world. Now, you can go a lot further with it. And you can get to the point that you will do things that your players may not even recognize. Just dipping into the insanity, which is the Monday night game. Basically, I ran a game that was set, if you want to call it, in D&D's future. Technology existed, spaceships, that kind of stuff. But there was magic still as well. Characters from that game did a bunch of stuff, ended up going back in time to alter the past. And that's where that game ended. They altered the past, and that was the end. This game picked up in that altered past. And as we've played through, we've actually gotten almost 10 months into the game, and it's not until this 5 years of war has started that one of them has looked at the map that I've started to draw out and gone, oh no, you're kidding. And they've realized that this 5 years of war is starting to make the map look a lot like the map looked in the future game. And now they're realizing that basically they're living through the events that set the galaxy into the shape that it was in the future that their other characters experienced. Now, that doesn't mean they know the ending, because they're living in an altered past. The other group, the last group of players, already changed things irrevocably. But it means that the players have realized what point in history they're at and where it could have ended up. And now, subconsciously, consciously, whatever, the players are sat there thinking, okay, is what we're doing going to make it more like it was or less like it was? And that's fascinating to watch the players plot that out. So, I mean, that pretty much covers it, yeah. Let them know it's ending. Give them time to wrap things up. Run an epilogue at level 20, or just narratively, whichever, or both. And let effects carry over. Let there be some continuity between games. I think that's going to be it for the day. I'll be back tomorrow. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help me out. I don't think people have any idea how useful that like button is if you've got a channel on YouTube and you want people to see your videos. It means that it appears in more search results, and it means that it's shared more, and it's just very helpful, very helpful. So if you don't think I'm a complete idiot, hit that like button. If you think I'm a complete idiot, but you like a complete idiot, and you like watching me anyway, hit the like button. If not, what are you doing here? Go away. I'll see you tomorrow.